Booger, I completely agree with you. Here's what I will say, and this is not specific to Shedeur Sanders, but I know that NFL teams will slander a player's name when it comes to the pre-draft process to give themselves cover if, in fact, that player ends up panning out and becomes a viable starting option, especially at the quarterback position, which is one that's at a premium in today's game. Now, if the reports on how Shedeur handled those meetings are true, then that would be counter to anything we've seen from Shedeur Sanders in terms of how he's conducted himself across a couple of different stops in college football from Jackson State to Colorado.
Shedeur Sanders just flipped the NFL on its head, and he hasn't even inked a deal yet. While other rookies chase signing bonuses, Shedeur pulled off a prime equity power move so cold, execs are checking their pulse. This isn't just football, it's financial warfare. Picture Shark Tank in cleats. Forget the old-school draft script. Shedeur's writing a new one with Deion's DNA and a boss-level blueprint. Welcome to the era of leverage, legacy, and loud statements. Let's break down the chaos.
I think, you know, when you talk about what is Shedeur Sanders' upside going to be this year and what he's planning to do or what he might look like, I think it has a lot to do with the order in which these guys are going to be playing. Whether it's Kenny, one of the veterans we assume will start the season off, whether that's Pickett or Flacco. We asked the guys, they believe that Dillon Gabriel would get the first opportunity unless something changes in the preseason, during some of the preseason games. But if you have Shedeur Sanders, right, how many games do you need to see him in order to evaluate what his upside is?
Shedeur Sanders just strolled into the NFL like it was a startup pitch meeting, dropped a deck titled Prime Equity, and left a room full of veteran execs clutching their chests and rethinking everything. This wasn't a contract negotiation, it was a boardroom coup. While other fifth-rounders were dapping up their families and hoping to survive training camp, Shedeur came in like a disruptor in designer cleats. He didn't just sign. He strategized, monetized, and revolutionized. Rookie deal? Nah. This was a merger between swagger, smarts, and generational leverage. Welcome to the Shedeur Sanders business model.
Yes. And you don't believe that.
But, you know, guys, here's the facts. Like, all of us in the media who watched the film had him somewhere between the first, maybe the third. There was some disconnect in the pre-draft process.
Right.
I think Peter's making an interesting nuanced point. When you have an agent, you're getting active feedback that you could react to. Maybe you go back in for another visit. There was some disconnect in the pre-draft process, Gree. There's no other way to reconcile his ability and the result of what happened.
Right. And so, what? It's just disgusting.
This isn't just football anymore. It's equity, media control, and brand power. The Browns thought they landed a quarterback. What they really drafted was a full-blown enterprise with a cannon for an arm. Let's rewind. Shedeur goes 144th overall. On paper, it's your typical 4-year, $4,600,000 0 cents rookie contract. No headlines, no controversy. Just another fifth-rounder stepping into Cleveland's organized chaos. But beneath that deal, a blueprint that's about to shake the league.
You knew that being Deion Sanders' son is going to come along with a different degree of scrutiny. So, again, I'm not calling anybody out their name or calling anybody out a liar, but I will say it's just hard for me to believe that he would be, quote, unprofessional when it comes to the biggest job interview of his career.
But this wasn't your typical draft day steal. This was corporate heist-level brilliance, and Shedeur was the one walking out with the briefcase. Enter Prime Equity. Not a catchphrase, not a branding gimmick, a real clause. A silent bomb buried in legalese. While other rookies were still posting draft photos, Shedeur slipped in a media rights provision so bold, it feels ripped from a top-tier influencer's brand deal. It wasn't a contract. It was a statement. And the league? Scrambling to keep up.
I have a PhD in quarterback observation. Trust me. He's the best quarterback in the room. I have a PhD in quarterbacking. And I say it here loud and clear. Nobody knows quarterback play like me. I don't give a damn what nobody say. Because I done played with a bunch of them.
14.
He's better than Dillon Gabriel. He's better than Kenny Pickett. He's better than an old Joe Flacco that's going to give you 3-4 games but can't give you 17. He's better than that.
That's a valid point.
And Deshaun Watson is, he's rehabbing, so he's out in the back room somewhere. That's the way I look at it.
Here's the twist. While rookies are figuring out playbooks, Shedeur's team is negotiating broadcast backend, content control, and branding splits. This man isn't just suiting up for Sundays. He's packaging highlight reels for streaming revenue. He's not playing the game, he's licensing it. And the Browns? They either didn't read the fine print, or they read it, chuckled, and signed it anyway, thinking he'd never actually leverage it. Rookie mistake, literally. Because Shedeur isn't just betting on himself, he's building a media empire from inside the huddle. Imagine tossing touchdown passes and cutting TikTok deals on the sideline. Imagine breaking blitzes and breaking the fourth wall on camera. This isn't the NFL's new era, it's a hostile takeover. Forget NIL, that was preseason. This is the main event. And instead of chasing endorsements, Shedeur owns the ad space. He's his own marketing department, distribution channel, and media outlet wrapped in shoulder pads. By the time front offices realize what hit them, Shedeur will already be uploading a vlog about it. His cleats? Sponsored. His post-game interviews? Monetized. His life? A high-definition docu-series in real time.
I certainly never heard of no Dylan Gabriel or Tyler Shock. What the hell is that? So how is Shedeur Sanders going behind them? I'll tell you how. It's collusion.
Whoa.
4 different times they passed on him. How the hell does that happen? 4 rounds. It doesn't happen to a quarterback. We've never seen anything like this before. Shedeur Sanders with the watch. Shedeur Sanders with his bravado. Shedeur Sanders with this supposed arrogance or whatever. He's still bald. Brother can play.
And now, every GM in the league is scrambling to hire a TikTok consultant just to stay in the conversation. Welcome to the Shedeur economy, where contracts come with camera crews and fifth-rounders walk in with production budgets. The Browns didn't draft a player. They accidentally licensed a franchise. He doesn't just play football, he owns his narrative. Every camera lens, every sideline clip, every raw locker room speech, his. Streams, vlogs, mic'd up moments, exclusive behind-the-scenes chaos. Shedeur controls it all. Full rights, full monetization, no league filters, no corporate fingers in the pie. The NFL gets zilch, and if his digital empire hits 10 million views during the season, that's an automatic $2 million payout. Just for being watchable, entertaining, magnetic. That's more than some QBs make for taking hits on Sundays. But this isn't a one-trick content hustle. He baked in a 20% royalty on everything that carries his name, logo, or branding. Not just jerseys. We're talking hoodies, mugs, lunchboxes, mini helmets, limited edition Funko Pops, action figures. Heck, if someone slaps a Shedeur-themed sticker on their car, that's another chime in his bank account. The NFL is a merchandising machine, but now, Shedeur rigged the machine to pay him first. He basically became a one-man licensing company, wearing cleats. Still not done.
$250 million in rookie jersey sales for Shedeur Sanders, which means he's going to commission $14 million. He only made $4.6 million from his rookie contract. So he's already made more than most second, third, whatever rounders. This is a sign for anybody out there that feels like they've been done wrong. You are always going to end up on the right side if you are a good person. Shedeur has been doing nothing but keeping quiet, working, minding his business, driving the speed limit hopefully, and doing everything he needs to do to prepare for this.
Now let's talk about the chess move that truly blew everyone's mind, the equity match clause. If the Browns roll out any media project, whether it's a docu-series on HBO, a podcast with players spilling locker room secrets, or a digital brand trying to go Netflix light, Shedeur gets the right to buy in. He's not just talent, he's potential co-owner. That's tech startup logic crashing through the NFL's front door. While some rookies are signing away their NIL rights for a team hoodie and a photo op, Shedeur's negotiating like a Silicon Valley founder. He's not chasing endorsements, he's building empires. He's treating his rookie contract like a venture portfolio. He saw that the NFL isn't just football anymore, it's content, commerce, culture. And he inserted himself at the intersection of all three. Everyone else is playing Madden, Shedeur's playing Monopoly, with hotels on every square. And guess what? Every time someone lands on Shedeur Sanders, they pay a licensing fee. So while execs are still figuring out how to pronounce his name right, Shedeur's already got direct deposits rolling, view counts spiking, and clauses that lawyers will be studying for years. This isn't a contract, it's a blueprint. Shedeur didn't just enter the league, he hacked it.
I think this kid, Shedeur, I think this kid is going to rise to the top. And by the somewhere middle of the season, I think this kid is going to be our starting quarterback.
I think Sanders will be the first quarterback picked off the board. He should be. In the film that I've seen of a lot of the top guys, I think he's an excellent thrower. You can't really confuse him. I've seen a lot of different teams try to manipulate coverage and disguise, and he does a really good job pre-snap to post-snap.
Now imagine being some poor Browns exec, trying to wrap your head around all this while also trying to remember if your QB can throw a slant. Good luck, Bob. You didn't just sign a quarterback, you signed a digital tycoon, a walking brand, a one-man enterprise. This move didn't come out of nowhere. Shedeur was already stacking NIL cash in college that would make seasoned pros raise their eyebrows. He had endorsement deals rolling in faster than Gatorade on a summer camp sideline. Twitch revenue? Flowing. Social media influence? Off the charts. He wasn't just posting pics, he was monetizing them. Every like, every comment, every swipe-up link led straight to a profit margin. Merch drops sold out faster than playoff tickets. He was running a full-scale business out of his dorm room, while defensive coordinators were still trying to figure out how to stop him. And now, he's carrying that entire digital juggernaut straight into the NFL. Not as a wide-eyed rookie hoping to prove himself, but as a brand partner, looking to expand his portfolio. You thought you were drafting a quarterback, you just onboarded a CEO. The NFL hates this, absolutely hates it. Because here's the thing, the old blueprint was predictable. A team picks a rookie, pays him a rookie wage, and controls him like a chess piece. The front office holds all the power. The player is supposed to feel lucky just to be there. But Shedeur doesn't need their table scraps. He's already been feasting. The whole be grateful speech doesn't land when the player walks in wearing custom drip, driving something nicer than the owner's son, and filming the whole entrance for 2 million followers.
Do people believe that Shedeur has the makeup to be a backup quarterback? And what I mean by that is, generally speaking, we saw it with Jameis Winston. Jameis didn't do nothing wrong, but some people say, oh my goodness, the backup quarterback is talking. You know, coaches don't be like, they don't like noise. I think alone from the specter of what Shedeur Sanders is, I think most people are going to want to see him as a starter. And that's kind of deep to deal with, especially when you got to deal with people that's sitting behind somebody.
This is a disruption of biblical proportions for NFL executives. They're not used to players coming in with leverage. But Shedeur? He's not here to play by the rules. He's here to flip the entire system. He's got influence, capital, and legacy. And most terrifying of all, he knows it. He's not just demanding respect, he's forcing a structural change. NFL teams can't just offer a playbook and a signing bonus, they now have to bring something to his table. This isn't the league's typical power dynamic. This is Shedeur rewriting the rookie's script while the ink on the old one is still drying. And every front office exec knows it. The age of the obedient rookie just ended. Welcome to the Shedeur era. Imagine being a GM who still thinks TikTok is a sound a clock makes. Now you're in meetings about Instagram engagement analytics. Welcome to the new frontier. Shedeur didn't just bring talent, he brought leverage. And not the kind you get from stats or combine numbers, the kind you get from millions of eyeballs and brand loyalty that doesn't wear off after a bad game. The Browns didn't just draft a player, they licensed a media asset. Now, let's talk panic. Because, it is spreading. Rookies across the league are watching this unfold like it's a blueprint. They're not dumb. They saw how NIL flipped college sports. They know their followers, their engagement, their brand power. It all matters now. The moment Shedeur's deal hit the internet, agents everywhere started whispering the words, prime equity.
Great kid, and whether it's a following that he's earned, I mean, that's something that he's done a great job of interacting with fans. And but he is a great kid. You guys will get to know him more. He's working like crazy, just like all the guys. He's another young man. These rookies, my office is downstairs. As they got to walk by my office as they come in. They come in early. And Shedeur, just like all those guys, he's in there early. He's getting his work done. So he's working really hard. I like everything there.
Imagine the next draft class, each rookie walking into negotiations with a media team, an influencer manager, and a PowerPoint presentation that starts with, "So here's what I made on TikTok last month." NFL execs are sweating harder than a cornerback in man coverage. They built an empire where teams held all the cards. But Shedeur came in playing a whole different game. He's not chasing endorsements, he is the endorsement. He doesn't just move merch, he builds it, sells it, streams it, packages it into content, uploads it, monetizes it, and cashes out while defenders are still figuring out his cadence. And that's why this is more than a rookie contract. This is the NFL's worst nightmare, a player with options. The league can handle rebellion, it can handle ego. It can even handle talent that doesn't fit the mold, but what it cannot handle is someone who doesn't need them. And Shedeur? He doesn't. He can stream from his phone, drop a docu-series, and launch a hoodie line from the backseat of an Uber and still out-earn a mid-level safety. Remember when the league tried to humble him? Dropped him to the 5th round like that would silence the noise? Joke's on them. All they did was give him a bigger chip and a louder mic. The Browns thought they were being clever, quietly picking up a talented quarterback while everyone else squabbled over first-round fireworks. But they didn't get a steal. They got a franchise rebrand.
Offense is so explosive because these are serious, big-time, top-of-the-line playmakers that they have. If you can go 45-42 in the fourth quarter because your quarterback set the school record with 510 yards passing. He was flawless. Shedeur is big time. I didn't know for sure, will it translate to the next level of competition? Yes, it might translate to the next level of competition as he can play on Sunday.
Because every time Shedeur trends, Cleveland trends. Every tweet, every vlog, every pregame fit check brings millions of eyes. That's free marketing most franchises would kill for. And the best part? They don't even own it. Shedeur does. So now the NFL faces a crossroads. Do they cling to the old model and pray this is a one-off? Or do they admit that the future has already arrived, wearing sunglasses, filming a vlog, and negotiating his revenue splits over FaceTime? This is athlete ownership. This is brand power turned into contract leverage. And it's only going to grow. Because the moment you let one player break the system, 10 more are lining up behind him. College stars who grew up online, who understand media, who know the value of their name, their image, their story. Players who aren't just trying to make a team, they're trying to build empires. And if the NFL isn't careful, it's going to find itself as the middleman in a world where players talk directly to fans. Shedeur Sanders didn't just sign a contract, he launched a revolution. One clause at a time, one stream at a time, one equity share at a time, and the league, it can either evolve or get left in the content dust. This isn't a story about a 5th-round pick with good instincts. This is the story of a player who showed up with a business plan and a highlight reel. A guy who treats every touchdown like a trailer drop for his next episode. A quarterback who doesn't just move the chains, he moves the culture.
I think the one thing that we always have to remember when we talk about Colorado is how great Shedeur is. He is one of the best football players I've ever coached against. And we blitzed him. I think we sacked him like 10 times, and we hit him a ton. And he stood in there. And so, I know everyone sees, Shedeur on commercials. They see him, they see the swagger that he plays with, but he's an unbelievable competitor and he's tough. And so, to me, you take, Shedeur, you take, Travis Hunter, you take all the players that they have, you take, obviously, Coach Sanders, they're going to come into our place.
And while traditionalists scream into their rotary phones about focus and teamwork, Shedeur is somewhere filming his next vlog, signing his next deal, and quietly taking over the entire system. So welcome to the new NFL, where your TikTok numbers matter almost as much as your QBR, where rookies show up with media kits, where fifth-rounders flip the balance of power with an iPhone and a lawyer. And Shedeur, he's not just playing the game, he's rewriting it. One prime equity clause at a time, so buckle up, NFL. This isn't just a wave, it's a title shift. And Shedeur Sanders is the one steering the ship. And just in case you thought this was all hype, wait until that first merch drop drops, because when the jersey sells out in minutes and the vlog hits 1 million views before kickoff, the league will realize something terrifying. They didn't draft a quarterback, they drafted a media mogul who just happens to throw darts.